Hello everyone, my name is Ruchita and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to be something really different. It's something that I've always wanted to do and I'm really nervous to do it, but I really hope it goes well and I really hope you guys like these type of videos. I've been wanting to do this sort of video for quite a while now and I finally feel like I'm ready to do them, ready to make these videos. And yeah, so I've decided to make like a series on my channel. Obviously my channel is very new and everything, but really this is sort of why I kind of created my channel. These are the topics that I've always wanted to discuss and that's what I'm going to do. And so this series is going to be called Real Time with Ruchita, and I know it's very cringy, it's very cheesy. I feel like this series is going to be something that really helps me and hopefully helps you just talk about topics that, you know, just talk about things that people don't really talk about is kind of my main goal, to sum it up, I guess. Today's like the first video in the series and I have my laptop here with some notes, so if I'm looking over there that's probably why, just so I don't ramble on too much. I feel like this is the perfect way to start my series. This is such an important topic and what better way to start this series than talk about mental health awareness. I just find it really important to speak up on topics like this because it not only just creates awareness for everyone to be mindful of, it's also just a way for people who are going through different things in their life or are struggling with mental health issues to be able to speak up about their experiences and yeah, just be open and vulnerable. I've always wanted to do something like this, but I kind of just always felt like I was going to be judged or I didn't have enough of a following to really make an impact, or you know, just silly things like that where it just doesn't really matter. Like this series is a way for me to share the real and raw side of me and just things that I've been through. I don't want to condone a message that, you know, implies that vulnerability is a weakness, because it definitely isn't. And that's sort of why I kind of wanted to make this series. There's like a lot of reasons why I wanted to make these series, but it all comes together, I promise. I want to create a space where people are able to speak up about their struggles and issues and what motivates them to do better for themselves. I want to use that on my Instagram as well, not just my YouTube. And in saying all of that, my main aim in starting this series on my YouTube channel is to start a conversation about mental health. I want it to be a way for you to realize that you should check in with those around you and also start taking more action in being there for yourself and looking after your own mental health and well-being. And yeah, so let's get on with the first topic, which is going to be about mental health awareness. I just want to apologize in case I do say anything that is not comfortable with you, but I just really hope that you also gain some insight with these videos on my channel. And yeah, everyone is busy these days, everyone has things to do, places to go. We work so hard every day to do better and be better, and you know, this could be about work, uni, family issues, whatever it is, but I feel like not everybody speaks up on the mental issues they face daily. Everyone is just on the go. And this is why it's important to me that everyone understands that each individual is different. You know, you should be able to, you should learn to support the people around you, and that just doesn't necessarily mean like your friends, your family, or something like that. It just should mean that you should be able to support everybody around you. It's such an important aspect of mental health awareness that you should learn to be kind and compassionate. I feel like it's kind of overlooked on. I don't know, I kind of just wanted to just touch on that a little bit. You know, you never know what someone is going on behind closed doors, and it's really important to understand that everyone is different and everyone has different ways of showing how they feel and trying to cope with what they feel and what they're going through. Something that's really important to learn when you're thinking of mental health and being aware of your mental health is kind of learning to trust in how you feel and accepting that. And that is something that's a lot harder to do than said. It is really hard to kind of just trust how you feel and realize how you are like thinking. I don't know how to word this in a way, and I feel like this whole video is going to be a lot of pauses in between where I'm trying to figure out how to process the words properly. But it's just really important to understand that it's okay to not be okay, and it doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you're not doing well or anything like that. It's okay to have off days, it's okay to cry, it's okay to just spend time with yourself, to take care of yourself, and you're not a bad person for feeling the way that you do is kind of what I'm trying to get at. And chances are you're not alone in this. If you need it, there's so much support out there that it's very overwhelming, honestly. You have friends, family, your partners, or just anyone that you trust. Even different helplines are out there just for your betterment and to be there for you and to support you. So I just kind of wanted to mention that. This is why I feel that opening up to the people around you is like the first step in recognizing that you need some help. And you know, I don't mean this in a malicious way. Everybody needs help at some point in their life. Seeking help when you need the most can be so hard, and I definitely understand that, but it's so worth the trouble. Even if you think your problem is small, chances are that once you speak up about it, you just either realize the solution to your problem, or it's just a way for you to de-stress and relax and come back and look at it with a refreshed point of view. For me personally, even if I have some smaller issues that are affecting me and I'm just really confused about them, I tend to overthink and just overwhelm myself with so many different thoughts about it, and it just goes to the point where I don't even have any clarity on what the original issue was or why I was feeling sad or upset or whatever it was. And you know what, this is normal, everyone does it, but speaking up about it or just ranting even just really helps you kind of de-stress. Everyone gets overwhelmed, and to me, speaking about it just really helps so much. Even just ranting to my family or a friend, it just makes me realize what I need to do, or it just allows me to de-stress, and then I can kind of come back to it, or it just calms me down, or just ranting itself makes me feel a lot better. If you aren't comfortable about talking with anyone, not everyone is comfortable about opening up about their feelings and how they're dealing with things in their life, and that's completely fine. Even just writing down what you're feeling is so helpful. Some people keep like a journal where they just write down their thoughts and feelings every day, or just what they've done, just so it's sort of like a weight lifted off their shoulders. And that's exactly what I do as well, but I don't really use a journal. I literally go on notes on my phone and I write down how I'm feeling. Especially if I'm having a bad day, I want to kind of understand why, and I feel like the best way to do that for me personally is just to write it down, how I'm feeling, what caused me to feel that way, if there is a cause. You know, some days you just have days where you're in a bad mood for no reason, and that's completely fine. But yeah, like taking that step to write down or speak up about how you're feeling, speak up about what you're going through, is just really therapeutic. And you know, obviously it's not for everyone to do, and that's completely fine. These are just steps that I take, and there's so many other ways for you to make yourself feel better. It's all about learning which self-care technique really helps you feel better. I just want to make it clear that being vulnerable is not a weakness. It's not a sign of weakness. It genuinely just shows how strong you are, and no matter how small you feel your struggles are, they're always worth talking about, and they're always worth it to be vulnerable, rather than just holding in all your emotions and just feeling drowned from that. I've personally also dealt with so many mental health struggles myself, and in all honesty, they've taught me that being vulnerable and open about my feelings makes me stronger than I think I am. Growing up, I was always a very anxious child, and this is something I hid from the people around me just because I didn't want to come off as weak or annoying and stuff. I kind of just kept it to myself, and I don't want to sit here and say like, oh, I had a really terrible childhood, because that's so far from the truth. I'm very blessed with an amazing family, and I had an amazing set of friends, but this is just something that I dealt with personally because I didn't want to talk about it when I was younger, and it's something that I did wish I kind of spoke up about. But in saying all of that, there has been a few things that have happened in my life that have affected me a lot, and I don't want to go into too much detail because those are still very raw and personal for me. And last year was probably one of the hardest years of my life, and I don't want to sound dramatic or anything, but moving to a whole new city with no one but my family really took a toll on my mental health. And I do know that people move all the time and they do it alone, and I can't even begin to imagine how hard it must be for them to immerse themselves into a new city, especially when they're all alone. And honestly, hats off to them. But for me personally, it just took a lot for me because I had all my friends back home, I had my boyfriend back home, and I felt like moving wasn't something that I wanted to do. I just felt like I was obliged to go along with my family and you know, be there with them. And it's really, I almost feel embarrassed to talk about this because I know it sounds like such a silly thing, but I do know how I felt, and I do know what I went through last year. Was I just wasn't myself at all, and I was always really sad and miserable, and it was just not good at all for me. I was so lonely, and I just felt like I was stuck, and I was just stuck kind of not knowing anyone. And even if I tried to make that effort and know people, I felt like it didn't really work out, and that is such a hard thing to feel, especially when you really don't have anyone. And I did have my family around me, but at the end, after a while, I just wanted to be able to see other people that wasn't just my family. And this was like before uni started, before all of that, so it was like a really tough few months waiting it out and everything. Trying to meet people was really hard, and I just really felt out of my comfort zone. Now being thrown in a new environment and kind of just expecting myself to make similar kind of friends, or you know, have that kind of same connection with them, kind of affected me a lot. And it also sort of really brought up my expectations way too much, and I feel like that's sort of why it was harder for me, because I kind of hoped that all my new friends would be kind of like my old friends. I would have the same kind of connection with them. I don't know how to explain it in a way that it doesn't sound like kind of silly, but I feel like that sort of expectation really tears you apart, because every friend you make or everyone you meet is going to be different. In that aspect, I was kind of just setting myself up to be disappointed. Yeah, I was just really exhausted all the time. I had no energy, and I don't even I guess like in a mental capacity, I didn't have any energy, and I just felt so down. I knew I was bringing the people around me down as well. I guess to my family and just even my friends from back home, when they would talk to me, I felt like I was just, you know, complaining and whinging, and I just wasn't like the fun person to be around. For me, it was just too much, that it was kind of consuming me to the point where like that's all I would talk about, it's all I would feel, and I just wouldn't let myself feel anything else. I just kind of kept feeling sorry for myself instead of going out and doing something about it. And yeah, so I know that a lot of that was like my own fault and the way I kind of just expected things to be for myself, but I kind of just wanted to mention that. And the way I really helped myself get over all of that, I don't want to say get over, but like go through all of that and come on the other side, it was kind of to realize I was struggling. And I don't know how to explain this in a way that is concise, I guess. In terms of understanding that I was struggling, it wasn't a lot about noticing that I was like complaining and stuff or anything like that. It was sort of kind of based on like telling myself, look, nothing's gonna change if you're just gonna sit in your room and be upset about it and cry about it. It's nothing's gonna change if you're not gonna go out and make the effort to do it, right? So that's kind of where I'm coming from. That was sort of the point where I told myself, look, you either need to push yourself and step out of the comfort zone and do what's best for you, or you can stay in your room, you can stay in your house and just wallow in self-pity and all of that. And that was sort of what kind of pushed me to better myself and better my mental health at that time. I reached out to my friends and my family, and I tried to focus on helping myself become better mentally. And I think one way to do that, one way I did that, I guess, was really focus on the positives, and even if the positives are completely outweighed by the negatives, just even if it's just like one positive thing is going on in your life, just hold on to that. I feel like people automatically see like 10 different bad things happening, but they don't notice the rest of the 5 positive things that happen, and they just push that out of the window and get overwhelmed with the 10 negative things. And everyone does that. I've done that. I still do that. Like, it's a natural, normal kind of response to those situations. But yeah, for me, I tried really hard, so hard, to just push out all of the negative factors that were upsetting me and kind of just focus on the positive things. I had my family with me. I was going to uni, which is really great because that was a way for me to meet new people. I had different ways to meet new people, and I kind of didn't really think of those things previously. And that's sort of how I pushed myself, and that's sort of that is something that really helped me at the end of the day. I know that this isn't easy for anyone. I know that everyone is different, so everyone has different ways on how they coped, and this is just something that I did. I even reached out to people from my university, so I had counselors at university that I spoke to about everything that was going on. And I mean, I think counseling is great. I'm currently studying psychology myself, so I don't want to sound biased or anything, but I think reaching out to a counselor is really amazing, especially if you have it on hand, whether that's, you know, at uni or something, or a school counselor. It's really helpful. And I also just want to say, like, I don't want to be that person that's just going to sit here and be like, yeah, just be positive, like you're going to be fine if you're just going to think about the positives and stuff. Like, I don't want to be that person, because I know that's really vague and that's really unhelpful. The more you think about the positives in your life, the more you empower yourself to listen to yourself and what you need. Talking about mental health just allows me to be vulnerable and to not be afraid of that. I just think, you know what, everyone goes through something. You're not alone in how you feel. A lot of what I said in this video is probably really like might be a bit overwhelming, or it might be just really confusing, I don't know, but I just want to talk about how mental health is really important. It's just as important as your physical health, and a lot of people don't really understand that, and I want to change that. The less you talk about it, I feel like the worse you feel, and as you talk about it with other people, or whether you write it down in a journal or something like that, I feel like that's how you become more comfortable with speaking up about it, and you become more comfortable with yourself and with your feelings. And that's really important, because who knows you better than you know yourself. So anyway, I hope I wasn't rambling on too much in this video. I'm very nervous. This is sort of the first time I kind of sat down and really just blurted out how I've been feeling, or how I was feeling, or even spoke about like how important mental health is to me. I really hope you guys are interested in talking about topics like these, because it's just really important to me, and I just really love sharing my thoughts with everyone. And that's something that I've always really loved, whether it was about mental health or other issues that are just as important. But yeah, and that's what I plan to do with this little series on my channel, and this is just a little taste of what's to come. So this is my little first episode, and I really just hope you guys enjoy it. Mental health awareness is a discussion that I want to start on my Instagram and on my YouTube. It's a discussion I want everybody to start and participate in. I'm just going to go now because I'm going to keep rambling on. But thank you so much for listening, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I didn't upset anybody and I made sense in what I was trying to say. I'm just popping in, and I was editing and I realized I didn't even sign off this video properly. But thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!